talked to a student recently at one of our woke college campuses who said she's required in every class to introduce herself and to give her pronouns. Well, I'm Ted Cruz, and my pronoun is kiss my ass.
Screw your freedom. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. Wow, what a day. Welcome back. We're also, get this, in a new studio. I've got a green screen up today. Isn't that beautiful? I want to thank Mr. T for that. Everyone's working real hard behind the scenes. I want to say this before we get into it. Get your questions down below. Before we get into it, subscribe to the preparedmind.club. It's only $2 a month. Let's get into it. This show has more production value to it, and it's incredible that it's done on a shoestring budget, but we got a budget thanks to you guys. It's incredible that we have as much IQ brain power. We have a massive brain trust behind the scenes. I'm just the guy in front of the camera. I'm the guy that can kind of put it together. That's about it. Everyone else is doing the work, and I want to thank you out there for doing it and for understanding that I'm an incredibly busy guy all day. Wow, I mean, I actually slept too late today, and then I did Zero Dark 30 live, which is funny. It was funny, but well, it was a big whoops-a-daisy. Anyways, hot. I just sat down, ready to go, in at the last second. Here we are. Suddenly, it's Wednesday. Didn't I just wake up and it was Monday? Folks, really, once again, we have just an incredible team of people here making it happen. And I want to thank all of you for doing it. You know who you are, Uman. You know who you are, Jolene. You know who you are. All the named people who are out there. So, this is an incredibly serious, shall I say, serious satire today. I'm going to start with Marjorie Taylor Greene, who turned out to be a sellout rhino Republican. Yet she seems to have a personal axe to grind. And I'm going to quote her because quoting her and what she did serves our purpose of getting people to wake up and realize what the hell's going on. Twitter, those little twits, those lying sacks of shit. That's right, lying sacks of shit. Prove me wrong. We're in front of Congress today, and they got grilled. So I'm going to start with Marjorie Taylor Greene because she went after the censorship boss, the person in charge of censoring us. And she basically shamed him. Now, I'm not big on shaming, right? You should be ashamed. How dare you? You know what? That's for fucking, I don't know, something else. This is Congress. But at least she embarrassed the dumb son of a bitch and brought up a very good point. He should be looked into for criminal charges. He may have banned her. I don't think that's criminal, but it's certainly despicable. But he allowed child porn on Twitter. And Marjorie Taylor Greene claimed that Roth, this clown, this Twitter clown, once wrote that minor boys should be allowed on gay, adult male hookup sites. Once again, it lets you know who these people are. Who are the people on Twitter? Who are the people supporting Democrats? Who are the people covering for Democrats? Who are the people that are encouraging Democrats, supporting them with cash, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? The same people that are silencing you and silencing me and pissing me off. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, so we're trying to get the truth out there. We're trying to make it known. So we've got more from this same hearing, folks. This is the House Oversight Committee, which is now run by Republicans, but I don't just want talk, right? I don't just want talk. So in the House Oversight Committee, we had some fireworks going, right? We had some fireworks going. Congressman Clay Higgins warned the Twitter executives, these twits, that they may be arrested for interfering with the 2020 presidential election. No more threats. I appreciate it, Mr. Higgins, threatening these pieces of shit. But I'm going to tell you right now, I am sick and tired of threats and hot air and bullshit and shaming. Do it. Fucking do it. Arrest them. The evidence is out there. The evidence is clear. They interfered with. They silenced people. They shut everyone up. They lied. That's interference. I have a right to be on here to talk as much as anyone else. I have a right to be on Twitter as much as anyone else. I have a right to be on Instagram. I have a right to be on Facebook. I have a right to be everywhere that Jolene and Gooman are taking care of getting the prepared mind out there. Here's the deal. I have as much a right as everyone else, but they've silenced us. And they've used phony bullshit, plastic banana, good time, rock and roll, Persian bazaar, slick ass bullshit lies to get us out of the picture so that they could control and influence the election. And what's funny is they're such inept fucking creeps that they aren't the ones who won the election. I know they interfered in it, and they did so unlawfully, prejudicially, which is the unlawful part. Censor everybody or nobody. But by allowing some to speak and others not, based on partisan decisions, that is discrimination, and it should be illegal. Oh, wait, discrimination is illegal, isn't it? Anyway, these fucking clowns, it wasn't them that won the election. It was the vote counters that won the election for Biden, right? Biden won. Yay, President Biden. But no more fucking threats. No more. No more. I'm tired of it, right? So AOC, she wants to join everything by throwing a fucking tantrum. And this is what she says. The Hunter Biden laptop. I tried doing my AOC bitch noise, but I can't. I don't have a mouth like her. You know, she can eat an apple through a picket fence. I can't do what she can do, so I'm just going to read it. She called the Hunter Biden laptop story half fake. It's a half fake story. Okay, bitch. Which treasonous felony committed by Hunter Biden on the laptop was fake? And which treasonous felony was real? Which is fact and which was fake? If half of it is a lie, which is the half that's true? Because I want to know so we can have Hunter Biden arrested. And we can have Joe Biden arrested with him. Who? Huh? Who? Huh? What, AOC? Half of it's fake and the other? Great, you just admitted that you think that he's guilty as fuck. Which felony drug charge should we enforce on Hunter Biden, bitch? Which one's the fake one and which one's the real one? Which prostitute was a fake prostitute? Which was a real one? What child? You see what I'm saying? He didn't just commit a little bit of crime on the fucking laptop. He committed a boatload of crime, including treasonous, extortion, racketeering, bribery, paybacks, graft, grift, RICO statute violations. Come on, man. No more malarkey. Right? Fucking. She pretends to be smart by wearing those glasses. Okay, folks. I got glasses too. When I put these on my nose, does it make me look smart or does it just make me look like an old fuck? Right? I'm so smart. Let me, I need this to read my Geritol. Right? Putting the glasses on, I know it makes you look like you're 10 IQ points higher. But look, AOC, you're only at 50, so going up to 60, you're not impressing anyone, you dumb twit. All right, now. More questions for those Twitter assholes. Representative Comer had a little bit to say to Yoel Roth. Just a little bit to say. He wanted to know, hey, what was that tweet of yours calling Trump and his supporters actual Nazis? Now, once again, embarrassing these fucking guys, who cares? Shaming them, who gives a fuck? Threatening them, big deal. I want charges pressed. I want real investigations, criminal investigations started, and not being done by the partisan bullshit Federal Bureau of Investigation. That's not a law enforcement office. That is criminalized government behavior. It is sanctioned criminal action by law enforcement through the FBI. Now, what's interesting about that, if you'll allow me, is hopefully they do something about that. I am sick and tired already of seeing Speaker of the House BJ McCarthy, and y'all know what I'm talking about. Doesn't Congressman McCarthy live with another man? That's a Democrat. I could make a lot of really nasty jokes, but I'm gonna refrain. Let's do this though. Matt Gaetz is on the new House committee on weaponization of government. I don't want a fucking committee. I want an inquiry. I want a criminal inquiry into the weaponization of government, the Attorney General's office, the Department of Justice, the FBI. Not to mention all of these government agencies involved in censoring American people, propagandizing them against their better judgment, period. So sick of fucking DC. You know, so I feel sorry for all of the innocent people, if there are any innocent people in DC. But DC could be swallowed by the ocean tomorrow, and I would be a happy guy. Sorry for all the history, the monuments, the things that are good that we used to believe in about DC, but it's all trashed now. It has literally been trashed forever. And now, if you don't mind, I'm going to use one of Mr. T's new segues to kind of change gears. That's right. A teacher. And the picture of this freak of a teacher. See, teachers used to look like someone's mom who was very serious about teaching. Teachers used to wear glasses. They'd have glasses on the end of their nose. Okay, students, and they'd have little pearl chains that went around their neck, right? They look like teachers. Look like fucking librarians before they got too old. Now teachers have colored hair, pink, green, yellow, orange, purple, blue. They've got tattoos. They look like disgusting pigs. Well, got a video of a teacher, folks, bragging about making her students pledge allegiance not to the flag of the United States of America, but pledging allegiance to the pride flag. What does the pride flag represent today? Homosexuality. What does the pride flag represent today? Transgenderism, transsexualism, pansexualism. Oh, shall I continue? Drag queen identification, the glamorization and glorification of sexualized perverts, etc., etc., etc. That's what the pride flag is about. It's not about accepting and allowing people without prejudice to choose to enjoy whatever their private proclivities are. The pride flag is about being as public, loud, disgusting as they can be, and then forcing it on children. Now, did the teacher ask the students to engage in a pledge of allegiance to pride? Why do the kids need to pledge allegiance to absolute perversion? Why do they need to pledge allegiance to anal sex? Why do they need to pledge allegiance to destroying one's genitals? Why do they need to pledge allegiance to accepting people who are completely abominable, despicable, disgusting, filthy, disease-ridden, just gross? Because that's included in LGBTQIP+, right? So is the teacher asking or just encouraging? Or is this teacher demanding? And when someone says, I'm not going to pledge allegiance to that sick shit, only a kid would probably say, I'm not going to pledge allegiance to that. I know what that's all about. Does the teacher single that person out, make fun of them? Does that teacher, as a recognized authority figure, shame the child? I bet that teacher does all that. Essentially demanding and then castigating, prejudicially treating that child badly, putting that kind of pressure on a child to accept sexual perversion. What a fucking piece of shit. Every last one of these people out there. Oh, the time is going to come. The time is going to come. Let us change topics. Suddenly, folks, I was what? Suddenly I was thinking today. Suddenly I wanted to take a wild fucking guess. That's right. I wanted to take a wild guess. Can you believe it? What are we going to take a wild guess about? A 31-year-old super athlete. 31. This is a woman. So don't tell me she's not a super athlete, because, you know, women are everything. Or at least they were until the trans people came on the scene. Isn't it funny how feminism, feminazis, pink pussy hat bitches just kind of left the scene? They're no longer the darlings of the media, just like everything else that socialists use to destroy other groups. Then they just say, well, fuck you, we don't need you anymore. Just like the commies did with the Bolsheviks, just like Hitler did with, that's right, his Hitler Youth. He got rid of shit like that. He got rid of the SSA and replaced it with the SS. They get rid of the things they don't need anymore. So it used to be that women could do no wrong. They're superstars, super athletes, super mothers. Well, this super athlete, 31-year-old college tennis star, she died suddenly. So I took a wild guess. Lily Kimball died suddenly, unexpectedly. This global trend of what the fuck. Now, the reason I'm starting this today, is I'm not starting it today. I'm continuing it. A long, continuous, prepared mind tradition of showing how the Jim Jones juice is the enemy of humanity. It is a vicious cocktail of death that's been prescribed by the doctors of doom and the doctors of death and the leaders, the priests of the death cult. That's right. They sure are. They're the leaders of it. Dr. Fauci, Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, Cuomo, Hochul, Prickster, Whitmore, Newsom, and every other Democrat that has pushed this shit and mandated it. So I just gave you 31-year-old super athlete. But what about this? It is now, how about that? Another one, right? This extremely healthy, very healthy super athlete, 18-year-old. He remember, I talked about him last week. He suffered from a cardiac arrest during a basketball game. And this is extremely tragic and sad because he suffered a heart attack. An 18-year-old young man, played football, played basketball, super athlete. Now, in high school, you have a chance to go to college. And after college, you have a chance to play professional sports. Apparently, in order to stay on the team and stay in school and seek that dream of superstardom, at the very least, as a former athlete myself, some might say a super athlete, and I have the fucking street cred on it too. It's nice to at least tell those stories of, at one time I won this competition. At this other time I performed, I competed, I was in there, I gave it a shot. Just like when you go to school, just like when you're at your job, doing the best you can. You can tell the story. I was there, man. So this guy, at the very least, he had that going for him. And at best, he would have been a super athlete. Unfortunately, he's dead. He fucking died. He had a heart attack, and he's been fighting for his life, and he has died. Thank you, Dr. Fauci. Thank you, Dr. Birx. Thank you, Pfizer. Thank you, Moderna. Thank you, AstraZeneca. Thank you, Johnson & Johnson. Thank you, Merck. Thank all of you, you sick, lying bastards, for this. But wait, there's more. Oh, that was some beautiful 70s jingle in there. The co-owner of the Buffalo Bills football franchise, NFL franchise, co-owner, has suffered, quote, expressive aphasia and significant memory issues. So why should we take a wild freaking guess there, Mr. John? Well, because her daughter, the daughter of the co-owner, Kim Pegula, the daughter says that, well, she had a heart attack first. Following her heart attack, now she has expressive aphasia and significant memory issues. What part of having a stroke includes memory loss and other motor function, memory control, everything else? Oh, yeah, stroke and heart attack. Sounds like Kim Pegula may have had a little bit of stroke with her heart attack. Take a wild fucking guess. Who wants to bet against this guy? This guy right here. This guy here. Who wants to bet against me? How much you want to bet? Yet again, another virtue signaling idiot said, give it to me right here. Do it. Give me. And this is sad, folks. This is sad. Very sad. Are you ready for more? This shit, folks, is not rare. The reports of people getting sick, having adverse reactions, suffering injuries, having heart attacks, myocarditis, enlarged heart, pericarditis, pulmonary issues, breathing issues, mental issues, acuity issues, intelligence issues, strokes, and fucking clots. It is not uncommon. It is not rare. So, Twitter liked to do what? Censor information about the election and censor information about the Jim Jones juice. I couldn't say what it was. I had to call it cerveza bug. I couldn't say what it was. I had to call it the Jim Jones juice. I wasn't even allowed to broach the topic of somebody voting for someone. So today in Congress, I'm combining Congress and their collision course with Twitter, and I'm combining them with taking a wild fucking guess. How many people, how many lives could you and I have saved if you and me and everyone else in social media was allowed to openly express our opinion and put up our scientific data, our health experts, our cardiologists, our doctors, our epidemiologists, our vaccine specialists, our history of what's been going on around the world with Bill Gates and others and their tests? What if we had been able to actually say everything that we know to be factually accurate? You see, not only am I up here expressing my satirical opinion, my sardonic smartassedness, my everything, right? My cynicism. There is a team behind me. Jolene and Uman. And, well, that's the two you hear about. There's an entire team out there scouring the world for news and funneling it up to me. There's an entire team out there double checking, fact checking, doing our very best, right? We don't just want one news source. And if there is just one news source, we try and say, hey, it's just one news source. We try and corroborate the story. We try and make sure it's real. Every now and then we get duped. Every now and then we get trolled. Every now and then we fuck up, and that's fine. We do better than the mainstream media. Twitter, folks. The Twitter scum that I believe have a shared responsibility in putting an illegitimate person at 1600 Pennsylvania is also responsible for helping people make the wrong decision, forcing people to look at only one side and making a health decision that has destroyed their lives. Get this, folks. Representative in Congress, Nancy Mace, who is a Republican, has admitted she has devastating side effects from the Jim Jones juice. So, did she believe Trump when he was told by Pfizer it was safe? Or did she believe Biden, Kamala, Pelosi when they threatened to throw her out of Congress if she didn't take it? Right? Ms. Mace. She took the Jim Jones juice. Wait, is she a rhino? I don't know. I don't know her. We don't have a fucking clue who she is. She's on the House Oversight Committee, though. And she took the shit, and now she's suffered, what did she call it? What did she say? Devastating. That's on cue with stunning. Unbelievable. Yeah. You can only blame yourself, though. If you don't stand up to evil, if you don't make your own decisions, if you don't have the courage and conviction to follow your mind, your heart, your soul, if you're weak enough that others can convince you by shaming you, then it's very upsetting and it's sad, because not every human is supposed to fight off every enemy from every fucking angle. But that's what they're doing. Every angle DC is coming after us. So she ripped into Ms. Mace, Nancy, the fired Twitter officials. That's right. The ones that are there, hey, if they committed crimes, fuck them, throw them in jail. I don't care if they lost their fucking jobs. They should be fined. They should be marched in front of the world. Ms. Gad, give me a fucking break. Gadzooks, as my aunt would have said. Devastating effects. Top officials. Let me just give you the name. James Baker. Sounds familiar. VJ Gad. Yoel Roth. That's them, folks. The suppression of free speech. And there is Ms. Mace, who is a victim of it in Congress. Arrests anybody? They deserve more than that, folks. They really do. Now, during Zero Dark 30 this morning, I talked about Representative Republican bullshitter George Santos, who said that he was Jewish to get elected, right? He came under attack from none other than Kitten Mittens Romney, who said he was a sick puppy. And I was like, okay, that sounds like one of their little faggoty sex game things they play. You know, put on a puppy mask and then I guess enjoy your anal intercourse. I am so sick of these people pretending that what they do is noble while they pound each other in the rump. It is just terrifying to think that they want kids to run around and do this. Oh, it's just normal behavior. No, it ain't. Now, speaking of doggies, right? The pit bull lying hypocrites have attacked the newbie, powerless, sick puppy Santos, right? But the little guy decided he's going to fight back. And while I don't agree with what he did to get elected, I'm going to use what he said as rather entertaining and encouraging news. He told Pierre Delecto, which sounds like a beautiful LGB name that someone would want to use at one of Washington, D.C.'s more fabulous gay bars. His name is Pierre Delecto. He says, you're a bigger asshole, right? And then far left Democrat, and any Democrat is far left as I'm concerned. Fucking rhino Republicans are left. Anyways, mega far leftist scumbag Democrat Richie Torres, fucking George Santos said, stop obsessing over me. I'm married. I think that's funny. I do think it's funny. I am sick of these people, folks. They are liars. They are hypocrites. They're full of shit. They're fucking thieves. They're scumbags. Wow. Let's do it, folks. Let's go all the way today. Let's do it. Come on, man. Folks, like I said, there's an incredible amount of time and energy that is put into the show for production value, to make it entertaining, to make the information meaningful, and we barely get by and survive. Thankfully, you guys support us, and you're here Monday through Friday, and because you're willing to do that, I come on live every day with you guys. Get your questions in. I'm going to go through the criminal cartel known as the Biden family. And then we'll get to your questions on the inner circle. Now, it came out that Burisma asked Hunter Biden, Burisma being the largest energy company, the energy cartel, if you will, of Ukraine. That's like, let's see, Edison and Duke and Enron, all rolled together, their version of that. Burisma asked Hunter to end the Ukraine government investigation at their company. And then, if you remember, Joe Biden threatened Ukraine and the investigator was fired. Folks, Joe Biden sat in front of a live audience, a public audience, and that video of him doing this was captured and rebroadcast across the entire internet. It was commonly seen. It was easily seen. Everyone who was watching the news saw Joe Biden sit on a stage with another man and describe how he told the Ukraine government, you're going to stop your investigation and we're going to withhold money until you do. He stopped a criminal investigation in another nation of a company that his son was on the board of directors. Hunter Biden was on the board of Burisma that was being investigated, and Joe used his power by withholding funds that were supposed to go there. As vice president of the United States of America, Joe Biden withheld funds that were promised to another country until they stopped investigating a company his son was involved with. 10% kickback. Big Joe, do you hear it? The big guy, the big man. Folks, that's been confirmed. Email confirmation of this from the other side. I mean, how much do they need? We have the video of Joe admitting what he did, and now we have Hunter Biden's email confirming it. The Hunter Biden continues to be the gift that gives, and the American, or rather, not the American is out of the way. Let's bring onto the scene the United States government, based out of Washington, D.C., has the Federal Bureau of Investigation, has the Attorney General's office, has the entire Department of Justice, has every investigative device, service, tool, technique, and technology. And they refuse to see what Biden said and what Hunter is admitted to, and calling that a fucking crime. Just unbelievable. Now we're going to move to your questions. That's right. If you're here live on, folks, let's see, what's it called? Yeah, the preparedmind.club or subscribestar.com. We have both up in case one goes down for any reason, but we own the preparedmind.club. It's not borrowed. We own it. I think we paid like $20 for it years ago because the preparedmind.com was about 10,000, I think. Anyways, we're like, $20 or 20,000. You take the fucking choice. thepreparedmind.club. And it is the club. You're part of the club. You're part of the inner circle. Now, anyone can go to the club and sign up and get on the email list, which gets you news articles. It gets you some other information and opinions. And anyone can shop at thepreparedmind.club, but it is premium members there and it's Subscribe Star that get to come on live and be part of the inner circle. The inner circle all week long. Thank you, Uman. And I want to, of course, remind everyone that there is the rsyndicate.com. It's not Q, folks. It's R. R stands for reality. Reality, the R Syndicate. We want to deal with reality. Yes, there's some hyperbole. Yes, there's some bullshit. But we like reality. Anyways, I don't know what the R really stands for. It was a joke. It comes after Q. That was the joke we made. I think while Uman, Fawn, Kaz, and I were doing a four-way conversation live with you guys, and we were drinking. And someone said, R Syndicate, and it stuck. And anyways, Uman took over the reins, and he runs that, the rsyndicate.com. And so hats off to him. One of the busiest men I've ever met. Okay, let's do this. Let's get to your questions. It is a wild-ass Wednesday. Suddenly, it's Wednesday. Suddenly, a heart attack. Suddenly, a stroke. Suddenly, fucking dead. Again and 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 again. People just keep fucking dying. Nothing to see. Move along. Okay, man. What do we got first? Who wants to step on up? Who's your life 67? He says, a professor at my hometown of Purdue was arrested for selling meth, possession of meth, and prostitution. Was the professor prostituting himself or herself, or was the professor pimping out students for drugs? All of this sounds extremely, very likely coming from the institutions of higher learning today. Just, it's fucking sickening. Absolutely sickening. These people are in it for sex. Now, I get it. I enjoy sex. Sex is a good, fun thing. At the end of a long, hard day, who can say no to sex? Unless, of course, you're really tired, you have to get up early, you're not feeling it, et cetera, et cetera. But for the most part, good stuff, right? But let's see. Do you go to your students and fail them until they agree to become one of your little bitches? Right? Do you go to students and offer them drugs until they're strung out and then they agree to perform sexual activity for you? Do you take your students that you've strung out on drugs, turned out for prostitution, and then force them to sell drugs for you? See where this is going? Or you'll fail their class. Not only do you have to repeat the bilge, the absolute sewerific bilge that these professors teach and try and call education. In order to get somewhere, you have to agree with them. But now I guess you have to bend over and take it. Folks, the reason I am being as crude as I am. Remember years ago when people were like, John, you're just a little too crude. You just cuss a little too much. You're just a little too radical. You're a little too militant. You're a little too this. You're a little too rough. You're a little too this and that. How am I compared to what these fucking people are doing on a daily basis? And it's now exposed. I'm not guessing anymore. I'm not just using what I know in my experience. We're getting it from around the fucking world. All the way to Washington, D.C., where they're having sick homosexual pup handler games in the Pentagon, in the White House. Let me back up the truck here. Beep, beep, beep. Representative Republican from Carolina, Madison Cawthorn. Veteran. Freshman Republican in Congress. Says, hey, look, there's a bunch of these fucking people here. They have orgies all the time and they take huge amounts of drugs. He was going to expose them. And then he was threatened by none other than the current sitting Speaker of the House, Kevin, don't you dare tell on who's having an orgy, McCarthy. What a pile of shit. Who promised to get Madison Cawthorn thrown out in the primary, and he did. McCarthy is not a Republican. He's not a conservative. He's not an American as far as I'm concerned. And he's certainly, folks, no patriot. He's a self-serving, lighten the loafers fruitcake who has managed to keep himself at the helm of the Republican Party in Congress. And he's a sick little bitch. All right. All right, oh man, I got the communication line opened. You know, it's just, I want to be brutally honest with you people because shit hitting the fan is absolutely fucking brutal. I got a question that came in from Ron. I can't put it up on the screen because it's on this other device here. He said, the most important bug out item. And I thought, really? This is the headline of an email from Ron. Longtime listener, brother Ron. He says, the most important bug out item is a deck of cards. If you get lost in the woods, lost in the urban jungle, just deal a game of solitaire and sit there. In a few minutes, someone will appear over your shoulder and tell you the next move. Another thing we do here, folks, is we enjoy our sense of humor. We bring levity into what is otherwise an incredibly pessimistic, drab, depressing fucking thing to discuss. And I want to thank you guys for involving yourselves and also an incredible sense of humor to be here and do exactly what we do. Thank you again. All right, man, who do we want to bring up next? And thank you, Ron. We got Mr. X, who's back again. He says, John, a year ago, my mom was posting about all the stuff that you see now. It got her on that infamous do not fly list. When will people wake up? That's right. People wake up when it affects them personally, Mr. X. When it affects you personally. When someone knocks on your door. When someone knocks on your window on your car. When someone knocks on your cubicle at work. When you get that email or that phone call saying, we need you to come up here and talk to us. And you lose your fucking job. Or you have your job threatened. Or you have people lying about you to get you fired. To ruin your relationships. To ruin your relationships with your children. Folks, the LGBTQ scumbags are an incredibly conflicted, violent, corrosive, destructive group of people. Now, that said, I know a lot of gay people, and I don't give a fuck if they're gay. I just care that they're nice, decent people, and they're not trying to destroy people's lives. And they aren't. But these people that I've had in my past, they are. There's people in government, and look how incredibly destructive they are. Look at how perverted these fucks are that try and destroy children, and they're doing it. When are people going to wake up? When it comes and those roosters roost on your head and shit all over you. And that's when they wake up, Mr. X. It has to hit them. Not enough people have been bitch slapped with it. Not enough people have seen enough destruction from the Jim Jones Jews. Not enough people have seen destruction from the radical feminist Nazis. Not enough people have seen enough destruction from BLM and from Antifa and from the Democrat Party. They're waking up, though, Mr. X, and you're doing your part. And I hope you continue to do your part. Speaking with somebody whose name starts with the letter P, is down somewhere in the Southwest and has been on a crusade to wake up people and is having a great deal of success. Of course, we're not going to evangelize everybody to the world of prepping, but enough people are now seeing it. It is becoming more apparent to more people all the time. More apparent to more people all the time. 41% of people do not say they're doing better, right, under Biden. Okay, let's go. Let's move on. Thank you, Mr. Ooman. The slim one. There's a question mark for John. Question for John. Reports are that Bill Gates is not responsible for any chicken or egg shortages. He's not responsible. Of course he's not responsible. He has nothing to do with all the henhouse fires. He has nothing to do, right, with all of the chicken farms getting bird flu, avian flu. He's not responsible for any of that. Of course, he's Bill Gates. He's that computer geek who wants to save the world. However, according to the Slim One, plant-based foods only make up 1% of market because nobody wants it. Bill's too vested and needs a storage of real foods for us to, a shortage of real foods for us to want his Gates eggs. Will these people stop at nothing to get their way? The answer is yes. You see, Bill Gates is into the fake meat. Bill Gates is into substitute food products like bugs. Bill Gates is now making fake plant-based eggs. And I'm willing to bet, I'm going to go out on a fucking limb here and say the main ingredient is soybean oil that probably has a coagulant in it to make it the consistency of egg whites. And as we all know, folks, soy oil and soy products are loaded with, drum roll, that's for estrogen, plant estrogen, which is not good for men. And it's not good for women either, because it tells the women's bodies to quit making their own estrogen and start using the plant estrogen to make decisions in their body. It's a fucking hormone. That's what estrogen is. It's a hormone. It's also a key constituent component of soybeans. And I'm willing to bet that Gates eggs are loaded with soy products. I'm sure that the Gates egg is probably going to come in colorful Easter egg style, you know, rainbow colors. There we go again, more fucking rainbows, right? So that kids will love them. I bet they'll put little cartoon bunnies and fucking chickens and squirrels and shit on their egg cartons. Buy our fake fucking eggs because they're rainbow eggs. I bet the yolks in the fake egg is also going to be a very similar soy product encapsulated in a very thin soy membrane so that the yolk is yolk. And it'll be colored yellow. They'll give artificial flavors to it so that it is egg-like. And you'll be able to fry it. And you'll be able to scramble it and put it in bread. And oh yeah. I'm not fucking buying it, Slim One. I literally am not going to buy it. Okay, everybody, let us move on if we shall. Let's do it. Let's get some more John Inner Circle. Had to go there. Loving that stuff that Mr. T is putting out. Thank you. And see, Uman, well, what about Uman? He's in the background doing stuff. He has no idea what button I'm going to push next. It would be nice. I don't know if Uman can push a button on the video. I know he handles the questions. Uman, can you like hit one of the video buttons and play one of my videos? You know, the little segues, and intros, outros, quotes. What do you call those things? Disclaimer. That's the word. Gee, many crickets, John. The disclaimer. Uman, play something on the video.
Don't be babbling like a fool. Say what you got to say. That's all. Then shut your dang pie hole. Cut out the
John, shut your fucking pie hole. Let's get back to the show. That's exactly what Uman did that. And I know that's exactly what he was thinking. You got me, brother. Awesome. All right, let's do another question if we can. And we got Charles Gentry. He says the most important question. Charles, taking us back into the world of prepping seriously. He says the most important question is we need to ask ourselves. We need to ask ourselves is, what are you unwilling to do to achieve your goal? What are you unwilling to do to achieve your goal? What are we unwilling to do is our limits. Right? That's an interesting way to approach the question. Rather negative. Normally you would say, what are you willing to do to achieve your goal? He's saying the important question is, what are you unwilling to do to achieve your goal? To achieve your goal. My goal here is to get people prepared for the continuous onslaught of SHTF. My secondary goal is to help return America to a state of freedom and independence for individual Americans and our states, and to get ourselves out of the slavery weighted yoke of federalism. Now, what are you unwilling to do? Are you unwilling to protect your family and yourself with violent and deadly force? Are you unwilling to do that? Well, if SHTF is going to contain that type of violence and you're unwilling to do it, do you think you'll achieve your goal? Right? Are you willing to take another life? And what if your goal requires you to do so? Are you unwilling to do that? So if you're not willing to do it, how can you expect to achieve your goal? It's just an interesting, different way to look at it. Thank you, Charles. What we are unwilling to do is our limits. That's right. If your limit is, I'm not going to kill anyone, right? Then it's going to be harder to achieve that goal. If your limit is, I'm unwilling to write letters to congressmen, I'm unwilling to make phone calls, I'm unwilling to talk to my family, I'm unwilling to talk to friends, I'm unwilling to stand up for myself, I'm unwilling to fight back, politically, figuratively, and literally. If you're unwilling to do all those things, look at what the left is doing. They're willing, folks. They have no limits. They will lie, they will cheat, they will steal. And they have said so. And their actions demonstrate it. They're willing to sell out America. They are unwilling to have a standard or moral that would stop them from fucking us all over. You see, they're willing to do anything. They'll burn chicken ranches, which is incredibly upsetting to the women that I know who think about little chickens getting roasted in their cages. They're willing to burn that. They're willing to shut down baby formula factories. They're willing, folks, to say we need a special tax because cows not only fart, but now they burp, and that's destroying the planet. Now, it's been a while since I brought up this topic. It has to do with grass. The topic of grass. Are you ready? Grass is killing the planet with carbon dioxide and methane emissions. Did you know that? Grass, weeds. See, cows eat grass and weeds. And grass and weeds is made up of long chain hydrocarbon molecules. Within those long chains, carbon dioxide, carbon, and methane, which is also another hydrocarbon, it's a longer chain hydrocarbon, they're locked up in the plants. You see, the plants eat that stuff. They eat carbon dioxide. They eat methanes. They eat everything. They consume it and they turn it into more grass, or more plant material. So a cow comes along, the incredibly docile, unassuming, calm cow who eats the grass and uses its stomach to digest the grass, that is, break the grasses down from those long chain fibers, and it breaks it down into its constituent components. And if methane is released, well, the cow farts. If carbon dioxide is released, the cow farts, the cow belches. It's just breaking down grass that was already growing. And if the cow doesn't do that at the end of the year, guess what? The grass falls over. It gets cold. It's winter. The grass falls over. It gets rained on. It gets snowed on. The grass decomposes naturally with bacteria digesting and breaking down those long chain hydrocarbons called fiber. And bacteria break grass down into carbon dioxide, and methanes. Right? You've smelled the swamp. Fucking stinks, right? You're like, ooh, fucking swamp, right? If you ever go by a boggy meadow, ooh, it stinks, right? Bacteria do the same exact thing cows do. If cows don't eat the grasses, they fall over and bacteria eat them. Cows aren't doing anything that nature doesn't do all by itself at one level or another on the fucking food chain. People in Washington, the United Nations, Europe are all a bunch of fucking lying, hypocritical, stupid ass pieces of shit. And I want to be very clear about that. They're a bunch of lying, hypocritical, stupid ass pieces of shit. And they know it. Or they're too fucking stupid to know it. And they're too fucking lazy to learn. And they don't use logic, reason, common sense, or critical thinking. I could destroy these assholes in a fucking minute if they would dare to debate me. And I, folks, am a master debater. Yeah, I would rather have a cow digest grass, turn a portion of that grassy energy into a tasty hamburger treat for me, than to let some worthless bacteria just eat it and it goes away. And the same amount of methane, hydrocarbon, and carbons released into the atmosphere. There is no more carbon being created. It's already here. Okay, oh man, enough of my blathering. Let's move on if we shall. Hoosier's back. He says, maybe I missed it, but what is John's take on the bumbling Biden State of the Union address? See a lot of people in the upper deck and Republicans not too enthusiastic about his bullshit. Yeah, he fucking lied, bullshitted, made shit up, stumbled. He fucked up the black dude who got killed by the 5 cop black dudes. His name was Tyre something. Tyre something. I don't know how to pronounce his name properly. Tyre, whatever the heck that is. Well, President Idiot Biden has them show up as special guests so he can put down cops. And then the dumb fucking old man, Biden, calls him Tyler. Idiot. Big Marge did not bring in her balloon. I think her boss whipped her. Kevin McCarthy says, there'll be none of that. I've got some BJs to deal with tonight, and I don't want to be the one in the barrel. I guess that's what he was thinking. I don't know. Hard to say, folks. Hard to say. So there was some heckling, though. Republicans heckled. Republicans sneered. Republicans laughed at Biden. But where the fuck is the impeachment? I don't think that's a hard question to ask. I guess they figure it's a hard question to answer because they have no integrity. No integrity. You didn't miss it, Hoosier, because there wasn't really a lot to cover. It was a bunch of lying, self-congratulatory bullshit as usual. As usual. Okay, man, let us move on if we shall. We got Bonnie Blue 2A, an awesome, great contributor to the content on the channel. And she said she will send us some information after the show showing that the U.S. was responsible for blowing up the Nordstream pipeline. Another thing we're being distracted from? Yes, a potentially explosive bombshell report came out. I'm going to cover it right now, Bonnie Blue. There's some headlines, folks, that could rip the paper tiger in half and start an SHTF World War III consequential disaster. Now, there's 3 elements in any crime, whether the crime is committed by little people like you or me, your local government, your local crime leader, or even the biggest governments in the world, China, the United States, Europe. You have to have 3 things. There's 3 elements to any crime: means, motive, opportunity. The United States government out of Washington, D.C. had all 3 of those components: means, motive, and opportunity. And only a few other nations could have helped participate and could have had the same means, motive, and opportunity. Is the United States government capable of committing a high crime on the Baltic Sea? Yeah, they're capable. They have the means. Do they have the motive? Do they have the motive? Yes. And do they have the opportunity? They sure do. There is a bombshell report that was released today revealing that Joe Biden personally oversaw a secret mission in which specialized U.S. Navy dive crews bombed the Nordstream pipelines. The Daily Mail has the story, and the Seymour Substack has the story. And that's all we have. It is the start. So it is allegedly, that's why I said potential headlines. Do you think they're going to admit it, folks? No, they're not going to fucking admit it. Do you think the mainstream media is going to cover it? No. Once again, is this an act of war and aggression by the president, the secret government, the secret military? Is this a crime against humanity and Europe because of the people that have suffered, been robbed of their wealth? Many have died as a result of the lack of energy. How many died from the consequences? How many people and their families and lives have suffered casualties because of this bombing of the pipeline, which has reduced the energy supply? Businesses shut down. People had their standard of living went down. Their fortunes were decimated because of this, the Nord Stream pipeline destruction, which was an effort to hurt Russia, which did not hurt Russia. Russia, they just sold their gas and their energy in other ways. I want you to remember, folks, that evil does not give a fuck. Remember that, and you are fine. All right? Bill Gates is a climate activist who flies around the world on private jets. They don't give a fuck. A reporter confronted him. He doesn't give a fuck. He'll excuse it away. Evil doesn't give a flying fuck at a rolling donut. They don't. They couldn't care a frog's fat ass or a lazy cow's fart and belch. They couldn't give a shit. They are evil, and their goal, their agenda is all they care about. And everything is acceptable. The ends justifies the means to these pricks. And you'll notice, if you listen very carefully, you'll notice how I subtly call them dirty names. Because I fucking hate them. They're evil bastards, and they're killing people. They're destroying their lives. They're trying to feed you fucking bugs and fake eggs and no meat. And nobody, as pointed out, no one wants to buy this fake meat shit. Nobody wants the bugs. Wait till they just start putting it in your food, whether you fucking like it or not, and calling it something else. Right? All they got to do is call it protein powder. Bugs are protein powder. Once the U.S. government, the Food and Drug Administration, the USDA, the United States Department of Agriculture, recognizes bug protein as protein powder, and they're allowed to call it protein powder, it's going to be in every fucking thing. These people are sick. Absolutely sick. And I just want you guys to remember, I'm very smart because I have a pair of glasses. Just like AOC. All right, folks. Chance favors the prepared mind is yours. I want to say Godspeed to you. I want to say God bless America. And I want to tell you, Semper Fi.